3-minute race around the Snetterton 200 circuit. Lights out now, and away they go. Pretty even start from the two front row men. David Mason possibly making a bit of a shoddier start, really, a little bit further back. It's going to be Craig Land that has the lead as they go into Rich's corner, and Andrew Tate there in the 42 car has dropped back down to third position. I think it's Martin West that's made it up into P2 as a result of that, as they turn their way out of Rich's and towards the Wilson hairpin for the first time. It's Martin West in second, it's Jeff Peake that's in fourth, and then you've got Murray Shepherd and the car of David Mason, who are pretty much alongside. There's Tom Gadd, number 12, behind number 82, Paul Clark, who briefly led yesterday's race.
Now let's see how the damp patches offline go down towards Brundle and Nelson underneath the vehicle bridge. It's a change for the lead there in the tow, I think. So that's Martin West to the front as they go into the left-hander. Sort of only 2 or 3 wide rather than more, as we saw yesterday, as everybody experiments with how much grip there is at speed for the first time. In the group there, you see Greg Smith and David Mason and Paul Clark. And it's Paul Clark, car 82, turning his way through. He started on the 4th row of the grid, so perhaps not as good of a start as yesterday for him. Meanwhile, we've got only 3 for the lead as they start to break away from Murray Shepherd, with Martin West, who took his first ever win here at Snetterton a few years ago, leading the way. The driver who finished 4th in the championship last year. Big move over the curbs for Tom Gadd, so he chucked it up the inside there of Paul Clark, but whether he'll lose that again quite quickly down the straight, we're yet to see.
Over the line they go, side by side for the lead of the race, and just because there's only 3 cars in that lead group now doesn't mean it's going to stay that way. And it was Martin West by 100th of a second from Craig Land as they cut the timing beam. That time Jeff Peake a quarter of a second behind in third place. Here they are then up towards Wilson once again. Land has got the advantage now, and actually Martin West has dropped down to third position, and the next group is indeed catching them as well, headed by Murray Shepherd in the number 2 car, who finished only back in 10th place yesterday. Now of Chapman they go. There's Tom Gadd, he's in 9th place at the moment, just behind Greg Smith there, because David Mason has got ahead of Smith already during the course of this lap. There they are, fanning across the Bentley straight in towards Brundle, and it's Peake now that's got the lead. So we've had 3 different leaders in half a lap there, and that is not unusual in low-cost racing.
All those 3 drivers have been in first, second and third over the course of this lap, because now it's Peake from West, and back down to third goes Craig Land, who led just a corner or 2 ago. Into Coram Curve they go, and that train of cars is getting longer now because Murray Shepherd has caught and he's brought the rest with him. So you've got 6 there now because Andrew Tate and Cole Rousenard of the other 2. Into Murray's they go, and everybody keeps fairly well off the curve. So it's Greg Smith, I think, that leads the second group of cars that will try to chase up to the leaders that try to go side by side now as they complete the lap. So Jeff Peake, he's being challenged there then by, I think it's Martin West, isn't it? And as they go up towards Ritchie's, and it's West on the inside. He grabs the lead. Peake holds second, then 87, Craig Land in third with Murray Shepherd and Tate and Rousenard's behind. Yeah, it's basically 6 cars in the leading group now, and Tom Gadd has got himself back up into 7th place, but he's probably a second or 2 now behind this leading sextet that making their way around Chapman with 84 Carl Rousenard's at the back of the group. I think there's 6 cars in that second group as well, so the top 12 cars all not that far apart really. There's been a yellow flag down at the hairpin. Yeah, don't know who that was for. Sure, we're going to have a change for the lead here. Oh, there's a couple of cars. That's Mason. That is from the second group. And it's Simon Court, so the 9th and 10th place cars have had a coming together there. David Mason not happy with that, I don't think. Big dent in the back of his car, so obviously there's been an instant between those 2 at least there, so there won't be 6 in that second group no more. But there are 6 up front. There are at the moment, and what order they're now? Is it Jeff Peake, I think, that might be back into the front again? So they're making their way around Coram Curve. Yes, Martin West is in second place, so it's 29 from 94. And then it is the 87 car of Craig Land in third place, number 2 Murray Shepherd in 4th, then it's 42 Andrew Tate, and then it's 84 Carl Rousenard, who was a winner at Donington Park last season. And here they come side by side. It's Martin West challenging again on the way to Rich's corner on the outside line, and already he's gone through, and that shows just how powerful that toe is along the centre straight.
Land there, number 87, is in third place.
Tim Penstone-Smith not finding these dry conditions too bad, Ian. He's got to the top 10, so I'm sure he'll be pleased with that. He's got Dave Berry and Gary Brandon around him, three very experienced drivers within the category.
Yeah, and that's up from 17 on the grid, so that's a good performance. As we're watching the battle for the lead now, they're going past those two cars that are coming together. I think so we could see the yellow flag there.
Is it another car?
I think it is another car, yeah, further round.
Thinking that's Greg Smith.
I think you're right.
So perhaps it's a third car involved in that incident at the hairpin. But back to green for the S's, for Brundle and Nelson, and Martin West is the car that leads. Jeff Peake is second. Murray Shepherd to third now, so Craig Land has lost one position, and then Tate and Roussillard's seem quite content at the moment, just sit at the back of that group here.
And what you do sometimes see in a low-cost race is it does build into a little bit of a holding pattern in the middle, doesn't it? Everyone's wanting to stay where they are, in the right ballpark, and so when we get down to the last lap, and it's probably going to be a 10-lap race, then they can mount their attack. It's a bit like NASCAR in that sense, but like a cycle race, isn't it, where you're just making sure you're in position for the sprint at the end of the stage.
There's a cycle race on the A11 coming up this morning, which was interesting in the conditions. Across the line, they come for the lead, side by side. Jeff Peake back to the outside of Martin West, and Murray Shepherd's trying to come up the inside of both of them here, and he's got them both. So into the lead goes Murray Shepherd. Remember, he was fourth just a couple of laps ago. And
10th yesterday, so considerable uptick in fortunes for Murray, who, as well as Locost, often seen out in historic racing as well. I think he has competed at Goodwood in the past. Turning his way around the right-hander at Wilson, and then the sort of little left flick onto the Bentley straight.
That six-car battle behind we had, there's only two of them left, isn't there? Tom Gadd and Paul Clark, so it must have been a fairly sizable incident there, but good to see that they've all been dealt with under local yellow flags.
Yeah, absolutely no need for the safety car, which is good to see. So making their way into Brundle and Nelson. This is lap number 5. So this is the half-distance lap. Best lap of the race so far, by the way, 1:32.05 for Murray Shepherd. So not as quick as yesterday's best lap time, which was set by Martin West. He was in the 31. Now there's Simon Walker-Hansel. So he was the one to watch from the back of the grid, as you said, Josh, and he's now up into the top 10 here because he's going past Gary Brandon, who was in 9th position at the start of the lap. He's got past Tim Penstone-Smith as well. And Simon Walker-Hansel really making progress here, but he's got about 6 seconds to make up now to the group of cars in front.
Behind them, Tim Penstone-Smith and Dave Berry having a good battle too. So I imagine Simon Walker-Hansel will be looking to pull away from that group and leave them to battle amongst themselves. But Gary Brandon hanging in there behind the Eco Trailers Locost of Simon Walker-Hansel. Good looking car that is, and up front it's all gone a bit crazy. Jeff Peake goes round the outside to grab the lead. Martin West goes second, and Murray Shepherd, who led just a few hundred metres ago, drops down to third once more. Yeah, so halfway through this race then, it's number 2, Murray Shepherd, that led across the line. He's not leading now though. That is Jeff Peake, I beg your pardon. Murray Shepherd, number 2, goes back up to second place at Wilson. Number 94, Martin West, is third. 87, Craig Land is fourth. 42, Andrew Tate in fifth. And 84, Carl Royce-Nars is sixth. That is the leading group. The winner will come from this group, you would think. Again, yellow flags along the Bentley straight, but it should be greens by the time they get to Brundle and Nelson. And Jeff Peake in the lead of the race, trying to break the toe here. The number 2 behind him, Murray Shepherd, trying to follow and make the most of it. Will he swoop around the outside, though? Yes, he will at Brundle. So Murray Shepherd retakes the lead of the race. And does he run wide on the exit of the corner? Yes, he does a bit. He's up over the curb, but he still manages to hang on. Just about. There's been a larger incident, has there, down there on the exit of Chapman Curve, which looks not particularly great, to be honest, but hopefully things can continue. There's a lot of dirt on the road down there too, but here are the leaders. Let's hope we can continue to race. It's Murray Shepherd that leads now once again after that big move round the outside at Brundle. He leads Jeff Peake, and the rest of that group accelerate past the pit wall to complete 6 laps, and Murray Shepherd pulls to the left-hand side of the circuit. The rest flick to that side of the track to follow him in the tow, and Shepherd, is he going to be passed into Ritchie's? Yes, he does. So 29 there go through. Jeff Peake back to the front once more. But how long will that last? Not very long, I suspect.
Probably not. So still those 6 cars separated by about a second and a half then. Heading up to Wilson. They've got to be aware there might be yellow flags up here on the exit of the corner, though. It's Murray Shepherd second, Craig Land third, Martin West fourth, Andrew Tate fifth, and Carl Royce-Nars in 6th position. They make their way along the straight, and yes, it does look like there was a coming together there somehow. There's about 5 cars now, isn't there, along the Bentley straight. A bit of clearing up to be done after this race, I think.
Yes. Here comes Murray Shepherd round the outside. This is what he did last time. He's learnt he can do it. But so's Jeff Peake. He's learnt that Shepherd can do this, but there's nothing he can do to stop him. Shepherd round the outside. As before, he runs out wide on the exit of Nelson. Meanwhile,
safety car boards are out. So it looks like we are going to get a safety car. It's positioned there, ready to go yet, and it's just pulling out of position, but I can see the yellow flags already waving from our commentary box window.
This might be an important race to the yellows then, because I'm not sure if they'll be able to get any racing in afterwards. We haven't seen a yellow flag yet, so perhaps a big challenge into Murray's might be a sensible thing to do here. So it's Murray Shepherd that leads. Again, I don't think they've seen a yellow just yet, so it's a race to the line. And now they've seen the yellow. So it's Murray Shepherd that leads, which might be a very important thing for him, Ian.
Yeah, because we have had, about 11 minutes of this race now, just under 11 minutes of this race, only 4 more minutes of the scheduled time left to go. And so you would think that there is a good chance that this race will finish behind the safety car, I'm afraid to say, in which case the order will have been set. We've got 5 cars in total, as we thought, along the back straight.
Not sure which one of them they want to do anything
No.
with.
Well, let's just have a look to see who we've lost from our timing screen, just to work out who's there. So Louis War we lost early on. I don't think he was involved in any of that. We saw Simon Court and David Mason had the coming together. Greg Smith we spotted had gone, and the other one that I think therefore is not accounted for, Rob Fagg has retired, and just looking to see as the rest of the cars come through. The ones that have yet to appear, but I'm not sure whether these are involved in that or not. Glenn Boyer, Brad Horsnell and Paul Keynes, the ones that haven't come through on the timing screen.
Yes, I think there's been a number of different incidents.
Yeah.
And these two are a long way out the corner, so I'm not quite sure. Well, there's Glenn Boyer's car. So there's 3 cars a long way out the corner, so not too sure what's happened there quite.
I think it also means there's about 3 cars somewhere else around the circle possibly that have come into the pits that that are not accounted for on the Bentley Straight.
Yeah, what I suggest this will mean as well is a bit of a pause after this race before we can continue, because as mandated, a limited number of staff, a limited number of marshals to cover this event, which means that clear-ups may take just a little bit longer than previously, and when you have got a number of cars all in one place, that may may happen. But of course, you've got the 300 circuit quite near to there, so you haven't got too far away to get the cars off the circuit. Now, I wonder if these 2 cars have come together at all, Ian.
Yeah, it's a strange incident, really, a strange place to have that incident. Not quite sure how 2 cars would have ended up in that position, to be honest. Anyway, driver's out, as you can see in the background there. Just good news. Here's the safety car.
The lights out?
I think it's hard to tell, isn't it? No, they're on. Safety car lights are still on.
So I suspect that is going to be the end of the race, really. Then.
And the checkered flag's being made ready. You can see as well on the gantry opposite our commentary box window. So there's no point in them driving around for another lap. So we'll get the checkered flag this time to end this Demon Tweeks Yokohama Locost Championship race. Well, yesterday it was a win for Jeff Peake. Today he's going to be second as the checkered flag goes out, and it's going to be a win in round 2 of the Demon Tweeks Yokohama Locost Championship for Murray Shepherd, car number 2. In second place, it will be number 29, which is Jeff Peake. In third place, number 87, Craig Land. Fourth to number 94, Martin West. In fifth place, number 42, Andrew Tate. In sixth place, number 84, Carl Roysenars. Seventh to number 82, Paul Clark. Eighth, number 12, Tom Gadd. Ninth, number 4, Simon Walker Cancel. And Tim Penstone Smith, therefore, rounds out the top 10 in car number 47, ahead of Gary Brandon, Dave Berry, Kev Straw, Kieran Sill, Trevor Faunch, Jack Artist, Jonathan Higgins, and David Martin.
So what it means, that move around the outside from Murray Shepherd, which he actually did twice, is what gave him the victory. I said that that might have been an important race to the line, or race to the yellow flags, and it was the case. So Murray Shepherd around the outside into Brundle. Sort of a typical pass here in these type of cars at Snetterton. It's difficult to pull off though, because it's a fast corner. You've got to try and get it slowed down immediately for Nelson. He was able to do so. And a great victory there for Murray Shepherd, adding to 3 from last season. So a good way to start his campaign. But Jeff Peake, a first and a second for him here at Snetterton so far this weekend, is an even better start to his 2020.
Absolutely. So drivers making their way on the slowing down lap. We're getting some comments through on the YouTube live stream. So hello to all of you watching, whenever that is. Some people asking when the Tequila Type R trophy is. Well, there's a couple of races for those. One at 12:25 and one at the end of the day around about 5:30. Someone's asking when the M3 races. Well, there's no race for M3s here at Snetterton this weekend, but we do, if you're a BMW fan, have the Gas Shocks 116 trophy. A 90-minute race coming up at 3:45. And don't forget, you can get all of this information as well on the digital programme, which is available on 750mc.co.uk. So whether you're at the circuit or watching on the live stream, you can get hold of the digital version of the programme. It's got the timetable, all of the entry lists in, and lots more information about the weekend's racing as well. So do avail yourself for that. It is free of charge, and it'll be a very useful complement to the racing that you're watching this weekend. So already we've got the rescue vehicles out onto, or the recovery vehicles, we should say, out onto the circuit to try and gather in some of these broken Locosts. And the staff and the marshals will be hard at work. I guess they'll also just have to check any barrier damage. I don't think any of those were particularly heavy impacts with the barriers, so hopefully all the barriers will be okay and we don't need to worry about those, because that can be something that can be time consuming if there is damage. But I think it's just cars that need to be collected rather than anything else. One more race still to come as well for the low costs as well. So already had two different winners during the course of this weekend. I guess we wouldn't back against it being a third different winner, Josh, later on.
Certainly possible, isn't it? A number of drivers have been involved in the lead battle. We've had 6 cars battling for each race, but there have been different cars that have been involved in those 6. I think it's actually only been the likes of Jeff Peake and Craig Land and Martin West. It's just been those 3 that have been battling for the lead in both races.
What this shows is it's going to be a very competitive year, I think, in the Demon Tweeks Yokohama Locost Championship, which is good to see. Anyway, we do have Murray Shepherd pulling into his position down there in the pit lane. So we'll go down once again to Anthony Jordan.
Cool. Well, Murray Shepherd, what a race that was, right to the end. We had the safety car come out, so a bit of luck there, but it was a 10th yesterday and a win today. You must be thrilled.
Yeah, very happy. I mean, I've cooked the engine twice this weekend already, so yesterday I knew we were well down on power, so we had to do something. I don't really know what we did. We managed to stay in the tow and got a bit lucky with the yellow flags on the straights. So not everyone could draft past me, and I could just carry the speed as much as I could through the corners, hang on to the back of Jeff and Westy as well, and just suppose a bit lucky in the end, but very happy with it. Much happier because I thought we were going to go home this morning, and we thought may as well just give it a run, see how it goes before we take the engine out and try and fix what the damage we've done. So yeah, happy.
Compared to yesterday, obviously it was a really frantic race yesterday with at least 6 cars battling at the front, and of course today same story. It's busy. We had a safety car at the end, but of course that ending much more tamer than yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, the ending was a lot more tame, but it got quite exciting sort of in the middle. I think going through the complex at the end of the straight, I managed to sort of take the outside line, which gives you the inside into the right-hander, which worked quite well. If you can sort of throw the dummy a little bit and then go around the outside there, and it works quite nicely. So I was lucky that paid off. Very sideways and crossed over, but it's a beautifully set up car, thanks to Neil Mills, and it stuck it, and we were lucky to just come out on top.
Excellent stuff. Well done. Like I say, 10th yesterday and a win today. Well done.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Cheers.